Morning, Yesenia. How's it going?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Nice. I'm doing pretty well too. Today we're supposed to have 4 more participants, but let's give it just 1 minute. In the meantime, I'm gonna prepare my presentation. Okay, we have Erica. Hello, Erica.
Hello. Fine, thank you.
Doing fine, thank you. And we're also gonna have John. Just give it 1 minute, please.
Okay.
Okay, he's writing. Okay. One. Okay, guys, just give me 1 minute because John is writing to me and he doesn't know how to join us. So, 1 second.
Okay.
Hello, Anderson.
Hello, tutor.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. And you?
Very good too. Thank you. All right, so we're ready now. Let me just share my screen. All right. Oh, just 1 minute. So, all right. So today's topic is going to be about adjectives. That is, adjectives that are gradable and adjectives that are non-gradable. This is an advanced grammar topic, but I made the presentation for you not to be so complicated, so don't worry about that. Alright, so quick disclaimer, all the information that I took here was taken from the British Council. References can be found at the end of this presentation. So let's do a quick warm-up. Let's start with this question. Do you know how to use adjectives in phrases like a bit cold, really cold, and absolutely freezing? So for this, Yesenia, can you please help me answer that?
When we talk about adjectives, is regarding the characteristics.
Yes. What modifies the noun? That is an adjective. So let me show it right here.
So the noun will be cold, right?
Yes. Cold. No, that is the adjective. The noun is the subject. But we don't have subjects in this case. Adjectives, it's cold and freezing. And here the difference is that here the
Go ahead.
difference is that we're using a bit and absolutely and really. That those are called modifiers. So tell me what you see. What is the difference between those? A bit cold and really cold. Just give me a guess. What's the difference between?
The bit and really are going to work as modifiers of that adjective that is cold, right?
Modifiers, all right. It's modifying the adjective. The adjective. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Yesenia. Now, Anderson, what can you tell me about this?
The adjective is giving another meaning to the noun because you want to say a bit. It means a few quantity.
Yeah, that is very good.
And really wants to say a lot of cold. It's very cold.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that. So you're talking about a scale. Let's imagine a scale. Here we have 1 and 10. So if I say a bit cold, we're probably talking about number 3 maybe. And if I say really cold, well, probably it's like a number 6, right? So that's what Anderson is talking about. Thank you, Anderson. All right, so Erika, what can you tell me about this?
Maybe you are talking everything about this kind of adjectives, but maybe I can add these adjectives bring more information about the situation. Cold is a small cold or real cold, or there is a nothing cold. Brings more information about the noun. The noun is cold. Maybe how you say in the presentation, this is gradable adjectives. They bring a great about the cold, for example. In a phrase, maybe is an example. Maybe is the weather is 1 degree. Is no 1 degree no. It's 4 degree. Is a bit cold outside. Maybe.
Yes,
it's correct or not?
It's exactly like that. Thank you so much for that, Erika.
Okay.
So as Erika says, we're talking about grades. And we have modifiers like a bit, really, or absolutely. So we're modifying here adjectives. So you are all correct, and this is today's topic, so let's start. So let's look at these examples to see how gradable and non-gradable adjectives are used. Give me just a second. I'm gonna mark what are the adjectives. So in cold, Yesenia, what is the adjective here? It's really cold in this one.
Could you please repeat the question? What is the?
Where do you find the adjective in the first phrase?
The adjective, it is cold, right?
Cold, very well. And this is the modifier. Really is the modifier. Fire. All right. So we have also it's absolutely freezing. This exercise is really difficult, and this exercise is completely different. It's completely impossible. So Yesenia, please analyze these two sentences and tell me what is different between these two.
The difference, absolutely. What the word freezing shows that the temperature is more cold, and absolutely is a modifier that shows even more cold on the sentence.
Okay, so which one do you think is colder? This one or this one?
The number 2 is colder.
Okay, it's the number 2. It's colder. Alright, that is correct. Okay, Anderson, let's do these two sentences right here. This exercise is really difficult, and this exercise is completely impossible. What difference do you find between these two?
This exercise is really difficult, and this exercise is completely difficult. I think that the more difficult between these two is the second one, because of the modifier, because completely wants to say
It's like saying totally, right?
yes, if I want to grade this in a percent scale, I want to imagine that completely is the 100% and really the 80%.
That is a very good analysis. So completely, let's call it 100%. That is the modifier. And also, well, we can say which of these two is more difficult, because, well, this one has the word difficult, but this one has the word impossible. So we have another clue there. Impossible, well, is obviously harder than difficult, right? Okay, thank you for that, Anderson. So let's see the grammar explanation for that. Let's start with gradable adjectives. Most adjectives are gradable. This means that we can have different levels of quality. For example, you can be a bit cold, or very cold, or extremely cold. We can make them weaker or stronger with modifiers. She was quite angry. Let's look at this example. She was quite angry when she found out. Let's look at this one. The film we saw last night was really funny. And this one. It can be extremely cold in Russia in the winter. So here we have adjectives like angry, funny, and cold. Why are these adjectives gradable? You can ask yourself, can I be a bit angry or can I be very angry? If the answer is yes, well, you have a gradable adjective. The same goes with funny. Can I be a bit funny and very funny? Yeah. So it's a gradable adjective. And finally, with this one, can it be a bit cold? Or can I be very cold? Yeah. So cold is a gradable adjective because we're grading it. Imagine again the scale 1 to 10. Grade means to add a modifier that situates in whatever of the scale. Alright. Let's continue. So here is a list of some common gradable adjectives and some modifiers that we can use with them. So we have modifiers like a little bit or a little, pretty, quite, really, very, or extremely. Do you see how these go from 1 to 10? Those are the modifiers because we're giving them kind of a number. And these are the adjectives that we can use with those modifiers. So we have angry, big, boring, cheap, cold, expensive, frightening, funny, hot, interesting, old, pretty, small, tasty, tired, and etc. So, Erika, can you please give me an example of a gradable adjective with a modifier?
Yes. I am really tired because this morning I went to the gym.
All right, thank you very much. Really tired because this morning I went to the gym. Alright, so that was good. You used tired. This is a gradable adjective because we can say a bit tired, pretty tired, really tired, or extremely tired. In this case, you use really, which is here. So, well, that could mean you're somewhere between a 7 or an 8. That is just for their explanation. There's not actually numbers, but that will make it easy for you to understand it. Alright, thank you. Now let's look at non-gradable absolute adjectives. As we have gradable adjectives, we also have some adjectives that cannot be gradable. That means we cannot give a number from 1 to 10. No, we cannot do that. So let's read this. Some adjectives are non-gradable. For example, something can be finished, a bit finished, or very finished. You can be a bit dead or very dead. These adjectives describe absolute qualities. To make them stronger, we have to use modifiers like absolutely, totally, or completely. So we have these examples. Thank you, I love it. It's absolutely perfect. So we have here the adjective perfect. Perfect, it's already an absolute adjective because there's nothing that can be a bit perfect or very perfect. So that's the clue that you have. And, well, we have also modifiers, but they're not the same that we use with gradable adjectives. They are different. and we're using in this case absolutely. So absolutely perfect. Now let's look at this one. Their farm was totally destroyed by a tornado. So we have destroyed, this is the adjective, and totally the modifier. We're again using totally because this is an absolute adjective. We cannot grade it. Okay, let's look at this third exercise. My work is completely finished. Now I can relax. So again, let's look at the adjective finished, and the modifier is completely because we cannot grade it. It's an absolute adjective. Is this clear up until now, guys? Absolute
Yes.
adjectives.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
thank you, guys. So let's continue. We also have a list of some of the most common absolute adjectives and some modifiers that we can use with them. So we have the modifiers. This list is actually smaller, right? We have absolutely, totally, and completely. And you guys remember the list of the gradable adjectives was bigger. A little bit, pretty quiet, really funny, very, and extremely. Whereas this list we just have 3. Absolutely and completely. For the sake of simplicity, I know this is a lot of stuff to remember. Let's try to think that when we have a absolute adjective, we're gonna use only absolutely. Absolutely. And when we have a gradable adjective, we're gonna use really. Yes, we have a ton more of options, but it's easier for us to remember. Well, if we have a gradable, it's really. If we have an absolute, we use absolutely. Okay. So we also have extreme adjectives. These are different from absolute adjectives. Let me read you this. Adjectives like amazing, awful, and boiling are also non-gradable. They already contain the idea of very in their definitions. If we want to make extreme adjectives stronger, we have to use absolutely or really. Let's look at these examples. 1 second. Did you see the final match? It was absolutely amazing. So here we have the adjective amazing. That means that it already contains very in its idea, so we cannot say very. We can say absolutely. So absolutely amazing. Instead of, let's say, very amazing, that wouldn't make sense. So we say absolutely amazing because this is an extreme adjective. Okay, let's look at the second one. After 32 hours of traveling, they were absolutely exhausted. So again, we have exhausted. This is equally to very tired. So we cannot use very, we use absolutely. And finally, we have my trip home was really awful. First, traffic was really bad. Then the car broke down and we had to walk home in the rain. So really awful. We have awful, which means it already includes the idea of very, and where? Well, very bad. So we have to use really. Here I forgot to mention absolutely amazing. This is like saying very good. So you see, this all have in common that include the word very. That's how we know they are extreme adjectives. again, we can use absolutely or really. So let's look at this list. Extreme adjectives. We have the modifiers absolutely and really. And we had adjectives like amazing, ancient, awful, boiling, delicious, enormous, excellent, exhausted, fascinating, freezing, gorgeous, terrible, terrifying, and tiny. So, Anderson, could you please tell me why boiling is an extreme adjective?
Teacher, can you write the adjective?
Yes.
Because I can't see anything on the screen.
Oh. Okay. And what about you, Yesenia? Do you see my screen?
Yes.
And Erica, do you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. I can see everything.
Okay, so it
I
might
can
be
run.
something with the connection, but you've understood up until here, right, Anderson?
Right?
Okay, let me write it. It's boiling. So why is boiling an extreme adjective?
Because it means there is something, for example, water or any substance very hot.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that is true. Well, it reaches a very hot point. So it's good that you mentioned that because it already includes the word very. And well, something cannot be a bit boiling or a lot boiling. It's either boiling or not. So for that we say absolutely boiling or really boiling. So let's do a quick summary. Up until here we have gradable adjectives, and we also have non-gradable that is called absolute adjectives, and we have extreme adjectives. Gradable adjectives. So we can use the word really, the modifier really, I'm sorry. With absolute we can say absolutely, and with extreme we can say absolutely again. So try to remember this formula, okay? Gradable, really, absolute, absolutely, and extreme, absolutely. It's just the same. Anderson, can you see my screen now?
Yeah. It was because I am watching it on the phone, the smartphone.
Okay. Because now we're gonna move to some exercises, so I need you to see the screen. Okay, so let's start with that. Okay, before we move to the exercise, let's start with Yesenia. Can you please tell me what do you remember about gradable adjectives?
Gradable adjectives are those that can be modified by words like a bit, a little, extremely. A bit. Okay. Okay.
A bit, a little, and extremely. Okay, very well. Thank you, Yesenia. Now, Anderson, can you please remember me about non-gradable adjectives, absolute adjectives?
Are those that that say us that is in the top of the given situation. For example, completely, because it means there can't be anything more general.
Yes, that is true. Very good. And here we also have a clue. So gradable can be modified. Absolute cannot be modified because remember, like the adjective dead, for example, dead. So it's completely dead. It's either dead or not dead. So yes, it's the top of the situation, and we can use completely. Thank you for that, Anderson. And Erica, please remind me about extreme adjectives.
Okay, extreme is extreme means extreme.
Yeah.
So if when the situation don't accept other level, it's a non-gradable adjective, but I don't know how can I explain it. Extreme is the most of the top of the situation. I don't know how can I say it. For example, is amazing, awful, boiling.
Yes.
No.
Yes, that's true.
Boiling. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So amazing and awful, those are adjectives, and absolutely is the modifier.
The modifier. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Let's not complicate with defining what's extreme. We already know what's extreme. It's at the top. Let's say that. So very good. Let's move to the practice. I have prepared this exercise. Says for you guys. Give me just 1 second. Is this close enough for you, or should I get closer?
It's for me. It's okay.
Can you put them higher? Okay.
Yeah, it's much better like this. Yeah, okay. So we have exercise number 1. For this, I want Yesenia to help me. So these shoes are small. Can I use a bit?
A bit.
A bit. Okay. Very good. And why is that we can use a bit?
Because small can be modified because it is not like an absolute adjective.
Can be modified. Very good. All right. Erica, please help me with this one. The pasta was tasty.
I'm not sure. Maybe both. The pasta was completely tasty. No? Or very tasty.
Well, let's look at
sure.
the adjective. Is this an absolute adjective, or is this a gradable adjective? Tasty.
Gradable.
Gradable. Okay, so we can say, let's say that was
Completely.
a bit tasty. Can we say this? That was a bit tasty. Or can we say?
No, completely.
Okay. So you say it's
I'm
completely.
not sure. I'm not sure. Completely.
Don't worry about it. So we just agreed that this is a gradable. This is a gradable adjective. So completely is usually used for absolute adjectives. So that can be true because this is a gradable. We can use very. The pasta was very tasty. All right.
Okay.
Very. You
It's
understood?
gradable.
You
It's
understood why?
gradable. Because it's gradable.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All right. So let's continue with this exercise with Anderson. The dessert was delicious.
I think that is very.
All right. Let's look at the adjective delicious. Is this a gradable adjective? Delicious.
Yeah, I think yes.
All right. Well, no, it is not a gradable because it's like being dead. So that is an absolute. Something can be either delicious or not. Let's look at the comparison. Tasty. Tasty is gradable because something can be a bit tasty or more tasty. But when something is delicious, it's the top. So this is an absolute. So if we know that this is an absolute adjective, which of these options can I use?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah. Erika said
In Spanish,
yes, in Spanish es muy delicioso, but in English it's completely different because of the syntax. So don't mix up with Spanish. Most of the time when we're dealing with advanced grammar, there's no direct translation, especially in Spanish because you know Spanish is a romantic language and English is a Germanic language, so you will not see translation there. All right. But Anderson, was that clear? Why is it absolutely delicious?
yes, it's absolutely.
All right. Don't worry if it's not clear. We're gonna do more exercises. So, Yesenia, please help me with "It's not perfect, but it's good enough."
It's not completely perfect, but it's good enough.
Completely. Very well. So let's look at the adjective. We have perfect. Anderson, is this an absolute adjective or is this a gradable adjective? Perfect.
It is absolutely, I think.
Yes, it's an absolute. Very well. It's an absolute adjective. So we follow the formula. When we have an absolute adjective, we shall use completely as a modifier. All right? Great. So, Erika, help me with this one. I'm late. I'm sorry.
No. I'm late. Late. You are late or not late, okay?
Yes, but you can be late 5 minutes or you can be late 10 minutes or 1 hour, right?
So I'm very late. I'm so sorry.
Very good. So yeah, late is gradable.
Gradable.
Excellent. Yesenia, please help me with this one. We were exhausted when we arrived home.
We were absolutely exhausted when we arrived home.
Absolutely exhausted. All right. Very well. This is good. Exhausted is an absolute adjective. So we should use absolutely. We were absolutely exhausted when we arrived home. If I were to say tired, for example, I can be a bit tired or I can be extremely tired. So I can say we were very tired, but in this case we're using exhausted, so that's why we use absolutely. Alright, so Anderson, please help me with my phone battery is dead. Can I use totally or very?
Totally. My phone battery is totally dead.
Totally dead. Very well. So totally, because this is, what kind of adjective is dead?
No gradable
Non-gradable.
because is dead or no dead.
Exactly. That is a good clue. Very good. And okay. Erica, please help me with the book is amazing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, very well. So let's look at amazing. What kind of adjective is that one?
Non-gradable.
Okay, so we have
And it's extreme adjective.
yeah, extreme. Very well. Because remember, we have non-gradable adjectives, but we also have absolute and extreme. All right. Okay, so let's continue with this one with Yesenia. Please help me with this one.
The summers here are extremely hot.
Yes, very good. Extremely hot. What kind of adjective is that one?
It is gradable.
Very good. Okay. So Anderson, help me with this one. The house was destroyed in the war.
The house was totally destroyed in the war.
Very well. Totally destroyed in the war. And what kind of adjective is destroyed?
No gradable.
Yeah, but is it an absolute or an extreme?
Absolute.
Absolute. Yeah. So why is not an extreme? Because extremes already include very. Destroyed doesn't include very in the meaning. That's why it's an absolute. Okay. So Erica, please help me with this one.
She was very angry.
She was very angry. Very well. Is it a gradable?
Gradable. This is gradable.
Great. Yesenia, help me with this one. The interactive museum was fascinating.
The interactive museum.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Which one?
Absolutely. The interactive museum was absolutely fascinating.
Okay, very well. So what kind of adjective is fascinating?
It is absolute
Mm, quite.
or extreme.
It's an extreme. Okay, very well. Now, Anderson. We were tired, so we stayed in.
We were completely tired, so we stayed in.
Okay, it was almost right, but let's look at the adjective. Is tired gradable, absolute, or extreme?
Oh no, it's great.
Gradable. So yeah, let's agree it's gradable. So if it's gradable, which
it
one?
would be quite.
Quite. Very well. Because it's gradable, we should use quite. If it was absolute or extreme, we will say completely. All right. Now, with Erica, you don't have to pay, it's free.
You don't have to pay. It's completely free.
Very well.
Mhm.
All right, you
Because
already
it's
got
incredible, and this is absolute.
absolute. Very well. Absolute. Now, Yesenia, the apartment looked small in the picture.
The apartment looked quite small in the picture.
Quite small. Very well. What kind of adjective is small? I'm sorry.
Small is a gradable adjective.
Gradable. Very well. And Erica, let's finish with you. In real life, it was tiny.
In real life, it was really tiny
Really tiny. Okay.
or very tiny. Don't really.
Let's look at the adjective. Tiny can be gradable.
Gradable.
I think extreme.
In real life, it was tiny.
I'm not
Yes,
sure.
it's extreme. Who said it was extreme?
Me,
Ah, Yesenia.
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 Very good. This was hard. I was confused too. So it is extreme because it already includes the word very. So that's why we cannot use very. So that's why we use
Okay.
really. Very good.
Very tiny. Okay.
So let's go back to the presentation. The summary. We have gradable, absolute, and extreme adjectives. So far, guys, do you have questions about this?
No.
No, it's okay.
Okay. So,
I have a personal question for you, but about this, no.
okay.
When finish, no problem. Or now.
Now is the moment because we just finished.
Ah, okay. Do you speak Italian language?
Yes, I speak Italian. What about you? You too?
No. I am trying to learn. No, it's good to know for me.
Yes.
We speak. Okay. We may maybe we're moving to Milan when the coronavirus let us.
Yeah, it's pretty awful here.
Okay. Yes, I understand. Okay.
Well,
Good to know.
if you need any help with Italian, I'm a
Yes.
certified translator, so I could help you anytime.
Are
So
you in Italy right now?
Yeah, I'm in Italy. I'm in a city called Crema. It's pretty
Mhm.
close to Milano, about 2 hours away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We are living now in Kuwait. Maybe in some months, I don't know. We can go to Italy.
You live in Kuwait, Erika?
Yes, yes, in Kuwait, in the Middle East.
Yeah. Oh, wow,
Yes.
that's incredible. How's things there? Do you guys have Corona there?
Yes, yes, we have now. Well, we are in quarantine now. In this moment, we have 142 cases, maybe.
Mm.
Well, this is a small country. It's very, very small country. This is very dangerous
Yeah.
in this moment.
What language
Yes.
do you speak there?
Oh, here, my my tropical English and Arabic, but I don't speak Arabic.
Wow, that's super hard. It's
Yes,
impressive.
so hard, super, super hard. I try to learn, but it's impossible.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Ah, teacher, it's good to know.
Yeah, of
Maybe,
course.
maybe in a personal chat, I want to ask you some things about the language, maybe to tutoring.
All right. Yeah, it'll be a pleasure.
First.
Also, guys, um, I have never said this, but when you're learning another language, it's beneficial for your English. So if you're learning English and want to get that, for example, your B2 and you want to achieve C1 or C2, try to learn another language. Even if it sounds counterintuitive, learning another language will help you with the other language that you already know. Okay?
Yes, it's true.
Good to know.
All right, guys. Well, that is all for today. I appreciate your assistance and I hope you have a nice day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you,
Okay.
teacher.
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
Goodbye. And